Hello everybody, it's Hani, your engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about CRISPR therapeutics entering in the heart disease space. This was after the ARK Invest interview, which we covered yesterday, in which Dr. Sam, CEO of CRISPR Therapeutics, mentioned a couple of times that they want to tackle the heart disease space. Now, before we do that, before we jump into today's video, you guys know exactly what I'll ask you. Like this video, smash that like button, destroy that like button, guys. You guys know how the YouTube algorithms work. Subscribe if you have not, hit that notification bell just underneath this video. It's quick, it's free, it's easy. So thank you so much for support, guys. So I want to start playing first a clip here in the interview between Ark Invest and Dr. Sam, CEO of CRISPR Therapeutics. I did not have the video format from yesterday's video when I published it because this video was published a few hours after I had recorded that video. So unfortunately, couldn't show that guys to you guys, but I can show it today. But particularly, I do want to show just a small segment here, and I'll comment it and I'll show why this is important.
In the heart disease space, where you can actually potentially improve human longevity by 10 to 15 years by reducing the risk of heart disease by making an edit to PCSK9 or other proteins like ANGPTL3. Those can be revolutionary for humanity. That said, you can.
So clearly here, Dr. Sam mentioned a particular gene, and it's going to be very important shortly as I show you guys some research papers and where are my thoughts about this. But I do want to jump here on the Pipeline CRISPR Therapeutics webpage. And at first glance, you'll see there is no section or program about heart diseases. Now, if there were already a program, if there was already a program, I wouldn't most likely probably wouldn't have made this video. But the fact that there is no program and the fact that CRISPR Therapeutics CEO has mentioned a couple of times that he wants to tackle heart diseases in that interview, and also the fact that he mentioned that CRISPR Therapeutics wants to be involved in all three leading causes of death, which is heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, respectively, in order. They're already tackling diabetes throughout their program with Viaside in with Health Canada in Canada. They're already tackling CAR T cells, obviously the cancers, tackling cancer with their immuno-oncology programs, but they don't have a current heart disease program. Now, I think this is amazing. This is novel, and I love to see that. But now I want to take a look at some of the notes I took and some of the research papers, and I think it'll enlighten you guys to why, particularly this gene that he mentioned, PSCSK9, is important for CRISPR therapeutics to focus on to basically knock it out through CRISPR-Cas9 in order to reduce heart diseases. Now, I want to first start with a published paper in 2006. So this was obviously over 15 years ago, has nothing to do with CRISPR directly, but what this paper was able to reveal, right, throughout studying 3,363 Black subjects, they were able to see that in the absence of PCSK9, the gene, they were able to see a significant reduction with LDL cholesterol, right? Which is basically the cholesterol that's directly related to heart diseases, right? The more you have of LDL cholesterol, the more probability you have of having a heart disease. Now, this paper was revolutionary because what it did is it basically pointed out that that particular gene, the PCSK9, is responsible with high levels of LDL, which means more heart diseases, right? Probability at least of having heart disease. Fast forward in 2019, right? So that's 13 years later. For the first time ever, we had an FDA approved drug with Regeneron, which we've covered in this company in the past, considering their involvement with CRISPR. They were able to develop and get their Praluent drug approved, which is basically a first PCSK9 inhibitor. And basically, just like what we really revealed in the paper in 2006, by inhibiting the growth and the presence of PCSK9, you basically reduce levels of LDL, which means you reduce the levels of heart disease, probability of heart diseases. And that's exactly what they were able to show throughout their research paper with 15% reduction rate for any major CV events, a 27% reduction of stroke, right? So This was what the research paper was about. This was what they were able to reveal in their research. Now, I did take a couple of notes here, right? So from the Regeneron research paper that we're just taking a look at in the background, they were able to prove respectively that the levels of LDL were an average 62.7, 61%, and 54% lower than the respective level in the placebo group. Very important, right? These figures are very important. Again, this is not anything to do specifically with CRISPR, but it has to do with the gene that's responsible with these heart diseases. Now you fast forward this to earlier this year, right? So 19 May 2021, a paper published by Sekar, obviously the CEO and the team at Verve Therapeutics. Basically, they were able to prove the following, right? By knocking out PCSK9 throughout their CRISPR technology, obviously with base editors, they were able to prove a reduction of 90% of that gene and a 60% reduction of LDL levels. And this is very, very important because what this research paper here that I have here in the background, take a look at my notes here. This is very important because Praluent, which is the first FDA approved drug, is not a one time dose. And whatever Verve Therapeutics is trying to do is a one time or arguably a second time dose. But Perluin, what it requires you, if you can take a look at this, guys, it's once every 2 weeks. You have a particular dosage, and you can do it every 4 weeks, but then you have to increase the dosage. But basically, this is a continuous thing. It's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous monitoring thing where you keep doing it every week, every month, every year, every 10 years. You have to do it in order to inhibit PCSK9. And again, we're basically 3 years into it. We don't even have long-term data to consider whether this is sustainable or not. Obviously, this could be the same argument apply for CRISPR, but the advantage that CRISPR has, Verve Therapeutics team has, is that it is a one-time single course treatment, right? And basically what it is in obviously Verve Therapeutics side, they want to edit out that base editor, edit out that gene through a specific editing through base editing. And obviously they'll have less LDL levels, and this is by inhibiting that gene particularly. Now, a couple of things here. This space, heart diseases, is huge. Okay, this is huge. This is big. There is no doubt the total addressable market of this space is huge. Okay, heart disease is the leading cause of death. And for the first time ever, we actually have a company here, Verve Therapeutics, trying to tackle this problem that we figured out over 15 years ago that that gene was responsible. But now with the technology that we have and the way we can scale this is that they're doing it through base editing, right? Inducing a single base pair change from A to G in the PCSK9 gene, inhibiting its growth, inhibiting its presence, and basically lowering the LDL level. Now, I do want to go back here on CRISPR therapeutics. This is, in my opinion, the next wave of technology for CRISPR therapeutics. They're already tackling the diabetes side of things. They're already tackling the CAR T cells. And obviously, they have the sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia. They talked about the organs off the shelf, but I truly believe that heart diseases is going to be the next program that they officially announced. He's already mentioned the particular gene. He also mentioned another gene there, but just focusing on PCSK9, which already has been proven to reduce our LDL levels and thus reducing the probability of having any heart disease. And that is very important because the FDA did approve a drug, and the drug was able to prove the lower reduction of LDL levels. And that was based, the drug, all it did is basically reduce the PCSK9 gene within the human body. And again, that drug, you had to administer it on a weekly basis, as opposed to CRISPR Therapeutics. What they could do is a one time dose. I'm extremely bullish on this program, extremely bullish on that statement. And obviously, Verve Therapeutics are doing it, but that's just one company. We'll need many other companies tackling this space. I really hope they do it. I really hope CRISPR Therapeutics are able to do it. We heard him, CEO of CRISPR Therapeutics, mention it a couple of times in the interview. Curious to see what you guys think. Leave me comments below what you guys think about this space, about heart diseases. about what the research here shows, leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not, and we will see each other in the next video.